Yo, what's up, bro? There seems to be like, wait, I'm gonna keep my voice down because it's 11 p.m. here and I think everyone's trying to sleep. But there seems to be some kind of circle jerk online where you're not allowed to admit that you want to attract the opposite sex. Like all these little cave goblin motherfuckers are online like, oh, just do it for yourself, king. I go to the gym for myself. Or that's like the male version of like people pretending to be kings and like, oh, we don't need women. And then there's the female version, which I hear like a lot of girls, which is like, oh, men ain't shit. Like, you don't need men, you go, girl. I feel like I'm one of the few people right now who openly admits it. Yes, I want to attract the opposite sex. Yes, I do things to become more attractive. I don't know why that's so controversial these days. Like, it's one of the most important parts of your life is the relationship that you get into. Hang on. I'm naked, by the way, so can you still see me? Yeah. And you're not allowed to talk about this shit anymore. You're not allowed to like admit that you would like to attract more of the opposite sex. And this is for men and women, because you'll get crucified if you talk about this online. You'll get crucified if you say like, I want to be more attractive. I go to the gym to increase my sexual market value so that I can attract more women and like higher quality women. You're not allowed to talk about this. And I think that's so toxic because we have a few big desires inside of us. And this is like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it's the bottom pillar. You know, he's put in his hierarchy, the categories, he has put excretion, so like having a shit, which is absolutely like vital, you know, having gone to the toilet, with drinking water, with eating food, and sex. Sex is at the fundamental, what this psychologist says is like as important to us as eating, drinking, and going to the toilet, which are absolutely necessary. But in the modern day, it's like, it's so hip to like convince young men like, oh, women ain't shit, don't think about women, bro, focus on yourself, king. It's fucking cringe. I see that shit and I cringe all the time. And the worst thing is like young people are lapping this up. Why? Because modern dating, especially for young people, it is quite negative, it is quite toxic, it is not for a lot of couples, it's not good. For a lot of young people, you've been through heartbreak, you've had quite emotional trauma, you might have been in a relationship that's involved abuse. And in fact, you know, I was just in the center of the little island that I'm on right now. I'm on holiday, and I was in the center and I got an Uber back, and the Uber driver was like a young man, like probably my age, like 20-ish. And as soon as I got in the car with the girl that I'm with here, he was like, he turned back like with a big smile on his face, like, how are you guys? Like, where are you from? Everything's so nice. And I asked him, like, oh, so, you know, where are you from and like, how are you? And he says, oh, not good. Him and his girlfriend have been having like a lot of arguments, and he explains that like she's Italian and it's part of the culture to be like maybe a bit more aggressive. So I'm not too sure about that because I don't really know much about Italy or something. But he says, oh yeah, like she drinks and she sends me like essentially abusive messages. So one of the stories he told was that he was late, not even late, bro. It became her birthday, you know, so how your birthday occurs at like midnight. And he messaged her happy birthday at like 12:04. So, you know, like 4 minutes late. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's like still on her birthday, it's fucking 4 minutes into midnight. And that she sent like paragraphs of fucking abuse. One night he like went to sleep early, or he was working or something like that. And he gets like paragraphs of fucking abuse from this girl because she thinks that he's out in the clubs and he's cheating or something. And a lot of young people's relationships are like this, which is like, it's so negative to see, but you've got to know that, you know, I don't want to give you the same advice, which a lot of people will say, which is, it's just focus on like you being the victim. I like to believe that we can take 100% responsibility for the things that happen, and really ask yourself, why have your relationships been quite negative with the opposite sex? Because it's so easy for you to be a little coward, to be a pussy. Honestly, I'm going to insult you if this is like applicable to you. It's so easy for you to get offended at what I say here and not take any responsibility and say, you know, it's the other people. So many girls do this. So many girls like, oh, all lads are dickheads. All they want is sex. No. Maybe that's all you're offering. If the guys that are coming across you, you've got to understand, like, you're the common denominator in every relationship, every situation of your life. And so if your life is painted by negative experiences, bro, it's you. If your life is painted by negative relationships, it's you. You are 50%. And in fact, honestly, you know, you can ask yourself, like, is a relationship supposed to be 50-50? Fuck no. It's 100% your responsibility. And if the other person isn't taking it as 100% their responsibility, then dump their ass. The best relationship is where both people take 100% responsibility for it. And so now you have like 200%, you have like teammates. So you've surplused the responsibility of like the growth and the positive emotions. I don't know, man. As like a young generation, we're so against dating and the opposite sex, and like the most popular videos of mine are either, it's so interesting, right? The most popular videos of mine are either the ones which I teach you how to get girls, how to text, how to attract more girls, no fap and all this shit, or they're the ones where I teach you, no, don't attract girls, don't focus on girls and everything. I am where I am today because I focus on girls. So don't follow in my footsteps, fair enough, but just maybe learn from my lessons. I focused on attracting the opposite sex for literally years of my life. I didn't study in university. Now, I don't recommend doing that, but I took a very different path from like my peers around me. Whilst they focus on like the studies, and probably I should have done that, but like the reason why I dedicated my life to learning about like how to attract women, how to actually like start having sex with girls, how to start dating them, and how to like, you know, pick them up in like nightclubs and shit, because you as a young man fucking know how important that is to your self-esteem. No dude can fucking tell me like, oh, I'm fine without women, I have men going their own way. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. One of the things that gives us the most fulfillment, I'm sorry by the way if you can hear like loads of wind because I'm outside, but one of the things that gives us the most fulfillment is our relationships, especially our relationships with the opposite sex. I believe the single most important decision you will ever make in your life is your choice of partner. The person that you eventually have children with, the person that you marry, or the person that you get into a relationship with. Because it's very similar to like your choice of friends, but you're a lot more intimate with your partner, and you spend a lot more like vulnerable time with them generally compared to the time that you spend with your friends. And I think it's time that we, like as a young generation, start actually saying like with confidence, like, yes, I want to attract more girls. Yes, I want to be more attractive to like the high value men. Of course you fucking do. There was a guy who made a video about me where he said like, he's made 2 videos about me, and the most recent one, like obviously like he's saying nice things about me, so I really like it and stuff. Maybe it's ego or something, but he said like, did it just occur to you guys that Hamza is one of the very few people online who actually tells you like, yes, he wants to attract more girls? Because all of these little red pill alpha male, all these guys online, these toxic motherfuckers, and for guys and girls, they make these channels and they have influence over the young generation. They tell them like, oh, just be on your purpose, kings. Don't think about women. Shut the fuck up. Now, this is not, like, obviously you can take this advice wrong and say, oh, well, Hamza's saying that I should obsess. Obviously not. I'm not saying to obsess over girls. I'm not saying to, like, sacrifice your life for them. But especially as for men, I can relate to men obviously more than I can relate to women, but I'd assume it's the same thing. Especially for men, keep in mind that your biggest fucking burning desire inside of you is to reproduce. It is to attract women and have sex with them. 100%, bro. Don't fucking try and be all like philosophical or whatever the fuck you want to do, bro. We are animals. Our main evolutionary purpose is to reproduce. That is your biggest burning desire, and I promise you right now, if you can tap into it and really admit it to yourself, you don't have to admit it to anyone else. If you admit it to yourself, that yep, I'm motivated by the thought of sleeping with girls. Yep, I'm motivated by the thought of improving myself so that I can attract a higher quality wife who will then go on to be the mother of my children, because I want to have the best mother for my children possible. Admit these things to yourself. You don't realize how important this is. Admit these things to yourself. You don't have to talk about it online. You don't have to tell people who would like criticize you and say, no, do it for yourself. Shut the fuck up. The biggest fucking lie on the internet right now is like, oh, I go to the gym for myself. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. People are so scared these days, bro. I'm going to be the first person that tells you right now, I want to be validated. I want to be part of the tribe. We're not allowed to say this, are we? Oh, don't crave validation from others. Shut up. Just shut up. Don't validate. Hamza wants to be validated. Yes, of course I do. If you say that you don't want to be validated by others, you're either an idiot who has no level of introspectiveness, or you're just lying. Which one is it? Either way, you're a pussy. Either way, it's like just someone who I don't have any respect for. If you can't like realize, of course you have a huge desire inside of you to be validated, to be included in the tribe. That's natural. It's evolution. And I promise you right now, if you really like just let this click inside of you and actually think to yourself, you know what, I'm going to pursue this with confidence. Yes, I'm going to go to the gym because I know it makes me more confident, more attractive to women. I promise you that your motivation for these things will increase by like 10 times. A bit of an aggressive video. Yeah, man. Give me a kiss, bro. Mwah.